Bitcoin and Ethereum, what's its next dump? Let's find out in the chart, shall we? No, I don't think Bitcoin is dumping now. I think Bitcoin is actually pumping. Yes. All right, we're going to talk about that and where it could possibly go in today's episode. Thank you all for coming today. I know the weekend was like, okay, I'm running the bath water. I'm putting the razor blade beside the bath. Right, moment. But I told you guys, right, many times and through many other videos, both in Carl's videos and in other people's interviews, that 21 to 17K was going to be where we're going to. And yeah, and to 17K showed up perfectly. Like, I mean, it was amazing how it bounced off the 17K. Absolutely perfectly. So we're going to show you that, talk about that, and show you how to trade and show you what to do with the next trade. Let's go to the charts. But remember, right, if you want to trade this, you can trade this at ByBit.davincij15.com. Links in the description or in the pinned comment. So check that out, please. Let's head over to the monthly chart and zoom in. Actually, let's go to the weeklies, right? And see what we're saying here. So as you know, right, I did say, hey, well, it's going right here and lower, and then the next stop or target was the 78.6, around the 17,800. Now it went a little bit lower than that, not a whole lot. Whoa, on the spot market here, it didn't actually do that. Actually, look at that. It just a smidge lower, right? Oh yeah, so a little bit lower. And so this is what I was talking about, right? Because Kramer came out and said, oh yeah, I'm selling everything, man. Sell everything. And meanwhile, he was the guy buying at 17.5. That's where he bought most of his Bitcoin and into the rally, right? Into our bull market. So with that said, right, you have to assume that he's going to defend his position and with his friends, and so he has done so. There we go. And that's what we have happening. Now, a lot of people are saying that 13K, and I'm saying that 13K is not off the table just yet. The problem is we've broken the 200 weekly average, right? So this is an unprecedented event. So expect possible more unprecedented events. Now, these additional unprecedented events have to be precipitated once we break below the lows of $17,545. That will cause us to break down probably as close to, well, depending on if we break this red line here. This red line there, you see it? If we break that red line, yes, that will definitely break us down all the way to the 13K or even as low as 11K as the possibilities here. So it is a brutal situation, and hopefully that does not happen. Right now, there is a little bit, only a 40% chance, I would say, of this happening, but that's a high enough number to not rule out. Yeah, and it will increase, right, as we if we break, increase to like 60-70% once we break the lower levels of 17.5, right? So hopefully we don't do that. Looking at the lower time frames and seeing what we see here for where are we going to continue? Is this going to be a rally to some sort of support level? We can see that there's lots of support levels that we could rally up to, the 22,000, the 22.5, 22.6. If this rally has enough legs, we can see this thing move all the way up to 38.2. Lines up perfectly with the last support level. So don't be surprised if the 38.2 is our target objective in this latest pump here from the bottom. Wouldn't be surprised at all. We come up to the 38.2 and retrace. If we come up here fast, don't expect much beyond that. We might come back down and retry. Definitely try to retry the 17K to test to make sure that is the bottom. So prepare for that eventual scenario. Looking at the shorter time frame, should we see do we see another trade happening? Is this for real? We saw here, what's it called? A rising wedge, right? Fake out here. It looked like it was going to break down, and it failed to break down. So, yeah, I think definitely we have, we might have a actual pump here, but we have to break above these this particular rising trend line here, and it doesn't seem to want to do that. Not an absolute. We have created higher highs, lots of higher highs here. So that means we are in a bullish stance here. So expect more bullish behavior on the price action before we see some bearish behavior. We should come up to on the hourly, we should come up at least to the 200 period moving average before you could say, okay, yeah, we're already too close to it, so that it's not like it's gonna not hit the 200 period moving average, especially since we haven't looked at it for a very long time on the hourly. So expect it to be something that we actually look at before we continue any downward pressure. Remember, right, we have the Rockin Brainer. If you're interested in the Rockin Brainer indicators, you can do so by getting into the indicator by subscribing here at payments.rockinbrainer.io. Let's head over to Ethereum and take a look at what's going on over there. You can see Ethereum is knocking on the doors. Its first previous support, which has turned resistance, and it should probably break through that shortly, and then it's got a lot of resistance going through, so it's going to be massive resistance level. But if we let's just take a look and do some fibs here on Ethereum. I'm wondering how much this thing can bounce from, because Ethereum, it came back from a very, very steep top, right? So it came back from a very long top. So we could see this thing retrace heavily, just as heavy as it dumped. So looking at where we could possibly retrace to, you could talk about the 2,500. You see that lines up perfectly with a major resistance, major support, which turns into resistance, which is the 24K. So let's just hide all the rest of the indicators so we can see that properly. You can see now the 38.2 is right there, looking at us right where there's a specific resistance level. So I would expect that move to occur. It's a big move, of course, right? From $1,000 or the low of $880 all the way up to to $2,400. That's it's almost a 3x move. So yeah, it's a big move. So lots of room to trade, lots of money to be made if you're trading this. Yeah, I would suggest you be careful though. We could come rolling back down. I expect us to roll back down on Ethereum. Let's go on to the 4 hour. We could expect to roll back down off of this particular resistance. So we're coming up to test and knocking on the door on the first 4 hours. So I wouldn't be surprised if we either knock on it a few times and then go up, or we roll down and then go up. So wouldn't be surprised at all. Maybe we don't go, I wouldn't say we go past 1,000. If we do roll down, and then you can probably take a bet higher, so that you can wait for this to come back and then buy it at a lower level. So let's just see if what the fibs are saying. I know this is probably not the top, the short-term top, the intermediate top, but let's just see if there's any kind of indication that the 50% is right there. So maybe 1024. 38.2 at the 54, right? There's a little bit of a, if we can stay above that, this yellow line. I really think that with this moving away from the yellow, the 13 EMA, we might end up seeing more of a pump as this thing continues to stay above the 13 EMA for quite some time, because we've been below the 13 EMA on the 4 hour for a very long time. So, alrighty. Usually it doesn't end up that way. It usually has to bounce around the 13 EMA before it actually does its final pump. All right, looking at the amazing dominance. The dominance is dropped off because Bitcoin went down too far, too fast, and of course we're seeing a lot of crypto bubbles priced in Bitcoin go up, right? But not so much in the dollars. You can see that there's a lot of red. And if we head over to BTC. right? Yeah, there's a lot of green, right? So you've gotten more Bitcoin for your money, but you haven't received more dollars for your holding your crypto. I've gone over all the charts that I want to go over today. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for being part of this show. Remember, I think you should take your Bitcoins and cryptocurrencies out. We're going to talk about that and more in the news rant. So make sure you pay attention to that, because there's a lot of rumblings and stuff like that. You want to be able to protect your cryptocurrencies. Do not leave it on any exchange. It doesn't matter how big it is during this volatile time. You don't want to be left holding the bag should the exchange collapse. All right, well, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys later on. Cheers.